y'all. This is Jeanette Keynes from Jewelry Arts Inc., also known as Dr. Goldsmith. This is part two of fitting a bezel down into a ring shank, the best and easiest methods.
And like I said, you want to use a burr, fine, use a burr. But if you're not practiced with burrs, I'm telling you, you're better off taking a little extra time with your file. Okay. And normally I recommend something that's a cut to file, which honestly, I don't use anything else but a cut to file. Rougher than that, I think it just makes a mess. And finer than that, I just go to sandpaper. So, okay. And you notice how everything is braced. You know what I mean? Because even if I slip, then I just smack myself and my finger will regrow. You know what I mean? And if I go too far, it doesn't matter because I've got the bottom protected. So these are the steps that I go through for doing these because like they're very doable, but they're fussy. There's a lot of stages that can really make you crazy. And usually when people do this for the first time, they're like, oh, I want to sink it in. And I'm like, absolutely, we'll do that. And I will help you. But just know you're going to suffer a little bit. You know what I mean? Like when I do them, I'm not suffering a lot, but it's not, it's not like a 2-second thing and whatever. Okay. So I'm going to let Sarah work on it and then we'll check back in. But basically these are the steps that I go through to make sure I get the hole just the way that I want it to be. So check it out. Look how beautifully this fits in here. Now I'll let Amy can you see that? Lovely. Lovely. Looks fantastic. And I mean, how long would you say it took you, Sarah? 20 minutes. Yeah, 20 minutes, half an hour. I mean, maybe it was half an hour, but like, the point is that sometimes slower is way better. Fast is just the way to destruction. And we were saying like, everybody wants to know the fast way. And I get it. Yeah. But I find, like I said, unless you are really like, I am so good with this burr, man, I could give myself a haircut with it. Like usually what happens is people gouge and it's too much and then the ring is too small. You know what I mean? It's like a whole thing. So, and also though, setting it up in here to file, because I can't tell you, like people are holding it just in their hand and there's no way. You have no chance. And one of the things that I hate the most in jewelry making is that people always immediately blame themselves. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I can't do that. No one can do that. You know what I'm saying? And so often it's the little steps that you take, you know what I mean, to make it easier that are a necessity. Like I would never in a million years hold this up in the air and think that I can, you know what I mean, keep that going straight up and down. Like never in 100 million years. And that's the whole thing. Students, it's like a whole human nature thing. We immediately go like, I suck, I'm bad at this. And I hate that more than anything. So don't do that. Stop blaming yourself. Blame inanimate objects. Way better. Way better. And you'll feel better. And usually it's actually true. So, you know what I mean? It's like, there's no downside to it. But basically now, like, so we're going to, we want to leave this open, this diamond open, so that she can like wear it all the time when she's washing her hands and whatever. So our next step for this would be we're going to make an inner bezel to fit inside. And we're going to, because this is open, we're going to solder it in. And then I think we're going to probably curve the bottom of the bezel just a little bit, to match that nice curve. So we'll check in with you with all that. But I just wanted to show you that, this is how you do it. This is how you do it.